April to June, after we showed our profile, there was a company that was sending us to Denver to establish some plans. And sometime in July, on Thursday, there was a phone call from a mother that matched our profile. And the mother really liked us and liked all our information on the profile. And so we decided to have a conference call with my wife, the mother, and the social worker, and we discussed she discussed some things about her options. She was thinking about another couple. On Friday afternoon, I was doing my homework and I was chatting with my friend, and my wife came running to me and said, "We got her." Like, "We got her? Who's her? What do you mean?" She picked us. She picked us. And I'm like, hold on. I'm going to hang up on my friend, and I'm just shocked. And the mother ended up having the baby the next month. Oh, and we were discussing this a month before the baby was due. And my wife informed us that the baby would arrive next week, Wednesday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we don't have a crib, we don't have diapers, and we basically had nothing. I was like, I thought they would inform us a month before the baby would arrive, but now it's coming next. Now the baby's coming next week. You know, usually you have 9 months to prepare for a baby, but we had 5 days. We had 5 days. And I'm like, oh my God. So I went to the bank to get a loan. I met with my lawyer, and I also went shopping. The problem was the bank was closed on Saturday. The lawyer doesn't work on Saturday. My wife and my mother-in-law went to go shopping, and I'm just looking for flight tickets to fly to Utah and to arrive there on Tuesday. So we ate dinner with the biological mother. And on Wednesday, Jada was born. Thursday was the first time I met Jada. She was just a cute little baby. Now she's 2 years old, and time has been going really fast. My friends have told me that once you're a parent, the time goes. So when we landed to pick up Jada, we stayed in Salt Lake City for another 5 days. And each state has its own adoption laws. Minnesota is different than Utah, and we had to go to a court hearing in Utah, and they would fax all that information to the Department of Family Children's Services. And once they reviewed that paperwork, sometimes it takes a long time for that to be approved, but Wisconsin is one of the best states when it comes to adoption paperwork. Some states take a very long time. So once the paperwork arrived here, it was approved on Tuesday, and it took basically 2 business days, so that was really fast. So we were looking for just a one-way ticket back to Wisconsin. If Wisconsin decided to take their time and we flew back and we got caught, we would have to fly back to Utah. So that's why we stayed in Utah for a while before the decision was approved. So once we brought Jada home, there were still things to be done because at the time, we're not legally Jada's parents. There's a 6 months probationary period from the adoption agency. So we're basically false parents to that point, and there's a 1 month, 3 month foster. Okay, I'm sorry. We're basically foster parents to Jada, and they would come and check and evaluate everything. And so once that was done, they would send that paperwork back, and that would happen again in the 30-month and 6 months period. And we have to get shots for the baby, and they evaluate that and take her to the doctor. And after that, we would go to court, and they will look through all that information and decide, okay, you're good, you're approved. And it took 5 minutes. Understand this, that the adoption turnaround was really fast. It varies for different families. Some are, tend to go to a Christian agency and they want just a Caucasian baby, and that takes a really long time. When you go through the foster system, it can take a much longer time. Okay, depending on the terminal parent rights. So once the child is in the foster system, they're taken from their biological parents' home, and it can go through the court system for a long time. And once that's decided, then everything can be solved. Now, with a private adoption agency, the process can be a lot faster.
I don't know if you mentioned this before, I might have missed it. Are your wife and Jada deaf or hearing?
They're both hearing. It was hard. Jada's hearing. It was hard to find a deaf baby. We did do some research, and from my observation, I noticed that there are more children. Okay, that deaf children are more available to be adopted at the age of 6, 7, and up. Because it depends on the hearing test that they've been given. And they don't do that in other countries at infancy. So there could be so when the kids are given up for adoption at ages 6 to 7, it depends on the reasons. And okay. So when the parents do have the baby, it's hard. They tend not to find out that the child is deaf till later, and once they find that out, then they give it up for adoption. They struggled. kids can be in the foster system for different reasons. If it might be for abuse, neglect, just a variety of reasons. My wife and I wanted kids really soon, so we looked for deaf toddlers, but that was really difficult to find. Jada is now 2, and we would like to adopt a child. When Jada's older, maybe adopt another child at the age of 7 or older. So we would like to adopt a child the similar age of Jada.
Does Jada ever ride your dog?
The dog is kind of scared of Jada and doesn't want to hurt Jada, so he kind of just stands there, nervous, just like that. And I just take her off the dog, set her down. Your dog is pretty protective of Jada. Jada when she was several months old and she could lie on her stomach, she would raise up and cry out. And I would try to teach her to kind of turn over. And when I did that, the dog became very protective and would bark at me. And he would just watch me continuously. They like to sleep with each other too.
What kind of dog do you have?
A Great Dane. So basically a horse.
Not as big as the biggest one, though.